Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Coffee and Conversation right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I am your host, and today I am pleased to introduce Julia Rogers from Luxury Hospitality Management. How are you, Julia?
I'm fabulous, I think, within these strange times. Yeah, but at the moment I'm talking to you and I'm really happy. Thank you very much.
Nice. Well, thank you so much for coming on board. You guys have remained just crazy busy throughout all this time. Every time we talk, you are, running into this meeting, running into that meeting. So just because you're at home doesn't mean anything is stopped for your business.
No, it's just a time of change, and we are in a very, we're where we are with humans don't like this. They don't like uncertainty. So we've been trying to really help people out there to get hold of it and feel safe and to find ways of coming out of this with some learning experience so that they can really improve themselves and there's going to be a lot of changes when we come out of this situation, and I think a lot of them will be really good, but it's just getting through this difficult period at the moment and knowing that it's okay to not be okay at times and just roll with it, but know how to pick yourself up. And Luxury Hospitality have been focusing on the crew, we've sent out some activity sheets so that they can got some ideas of fun things and also learning things, so that there's a combination of keeping themselves active and keeping their minds in a positive mindset and having good balance with your mindset, so that you know how to change it when you go down to that place which you don't feel very good. So yeah, we're busy.
So, well, your title at Luxury Hospitality Management is Head of Insight. Now, that's not really a title that you see in many companies world over. So can you explain what that title means?
Well, insight means to have a greater understanding of something. And within this case, within luxury hospitality, we're all about people and looking after people. And insight in this term means to have a greater understanding of self. Because when you have a greater understanding of self, you then can learn what your challenges are and what your strengths are. You can forgive your challenges. You can be kinder to yourself about your challenges, and you can look within your team who can support those challenges, that have them as their strengths. And then with your strengths, you can really focus on those and be much more productive, much more powerful, and feel good about yourself. And be in what we call, in a term of being in flow, because when you're in flow, you're in the path of least resistance. It's the area where you feel good. You're challenged enough to be stretched and feel that you're learning and feel that you're doing well, without getting into the anxiety mode or into feeling bored about what you do. So, greater understanding of self, and once you have that, you have a greater understanding of others.
So it sounds like what you do is you mentor and you help people figure themselves out, and you help people to find those weaknesses and strengths to make them even better at what they do then.
Yeah, so we have a 360 philosophy within luxury hospitality. So it starts off with this understanding, it starts off with insight. And we have a personality tool which we use, which finds out where you are inherently, energetically. So when we're born in a certain energy. We live in an energetic universe on an energetic planet, and we are all energetic beings. So if we can find out where our strengths should be focused, because as children, I don't know what it's like in Canada, but in England, all the children here, they're kind of told to focus on their things that they find difficult. So children are asked, if they're not so good at maths, they have to have extra tuition. If they're not so good at English, they have to have extra tuition. What would happen if we saw these children, these beautiful little beings, and saw their strengths and said, play into that? I know there's a curriculum that we have to stick to, but if they could just do that, but focus on their strengths, the confidence would skyrocket. And confidence is key in life. If we're confident in ourselves, we really deal a lot with mental health problems, with stress levels, with everything, if we are confident. So confidence and communication is key. And that's what we use talent dynamics for, to really find out what your strengths are, encourage you to play into those strengths. And as a team collective, when everybody does it, everyone realizes why people behave the way they behave. So then you start to get that acceptance and that tolerance, and that number one factor that we all need is trust. And
well, I have taken this test, but we're going to get into that in a minute because we're going to go through that, and we're going to tell the world exactly where my weaknesses lie. Not so sure about that, but
I don't like calling them weaknesses, it's challenges.
right, my challenges, which there are a few. What got you into this? What brought Julia from, where you started to working with luxury hospitality management in this capacity?
Well, I think I've always had a calling to be in teaching and training. And I love people. People are this is why I find this really quite difficult, being on my own. Luckily, I've got a dog and horse, so I can they can give me energy, but I miss people. And I started off as a riding instructress, so I took all my teaching qualifications to mentor and train horses and people. And I work very much with how they feel, what they're feeling when they're riding, so that it becomes a much more holistic wholeness of the horse and rider. And I soon realised that that wasn't really very healthy for my bank balance. Mm-hmm. So I got a proper job working in corporate IT as a teacher and trainer again. And I was teaching classrooms of ladies, can show my age now, coming off electric typewriters to word processors. And it fascinated me, psychological fear fascinated me because they were terrified. And I had classrooms of ladies crying because they were coming off one machine onto another machine and they didn't understand that machine. There was a very uncertain area around that. And again, as we know, humans like certainty. And so this led me into a path of psychology, really being fascinated with that. I ran my own online business in personal development for 10 years. And that in turn, your journey goes through. I was introduced to a lady who wrote some books on energy management. And I went through all of the qualifications with her, and I became an energy coach, and we did workshops and ran one-to-one coaching with different clients. And then I met Peter Vogel. I was introduced to Peter, and I don't know what it was, but something told me, I believe you should go with your gut instincts. Something told me I had to work with this man. And I don't know what it was, but I basically chased him for a year via email. But I'd never been in the super yacht industry. I'm a sailor, but I've never been in the industry. But I am used to high net worth clients. I've been working with high net worth clients for quite a long time. And eventually I heard that he had this tool that he was using, which was a personality profiling tool based on us as energetic beings. And I asked him if I could take it. And I came out exactly where he needed somebody, which is what we call blaze energy, which is all about people. And my profile name is a supporter. And a supporter is somebody that teaches and trains and coaches and looks after the team and is a people person. So I was very fortunate, and that was 3 years ago. So I've been working with Peter now for 3 years with luxury hospitality. We have an amazing team. And the reason they're an amazing team is that they all have such empathy and there is such love within the team. And we love to help people. We really want to help people be the best versions of themselves and create that positive workforce culture, which helps people feel well and feel good. So, that's been my journey so far.
Well, I mean, it's amazing because every single one of the team that I have talked to, over the years, everyone is absolutely stellar, whether they be, and another thing about this test too, is that it sort of shows those that are introverts and those that are extroverts. And it's amazing. I have to say, I was sent the test and I was sort of looking for something that I thought it was going to be this, writing essays or multiple choice. I thought it was going to be more, but it was really simple. It was like, I was like, how are they going to figure anything out about me with these questions? And I warned that it would take 15 minutes. And I mean, I know myself well enough that it actually took me maybe about 3 minutes, because it was like the questions were like very simple. It was like, just check. And I did. And then I was like, I don't know. I guess we all are sort of skeptic, I think, at some stage. And I am probably one of the biggest skeptics that ever walked the face of the planet, because I find it hard to believe in anything that I can't put my hands on. And so I came across this, and then they sent it back. You sent it back to me. And oh, wow. I was just absolutely flabbergasted. Flabbergasted. Like, you've got my readings up there. It's funny because, even the balance that I have of being an introvert and an extrovert, it's quite fascinating to see. Like, do you have my figures in front of you?
I do, yes. You are. So we have four energies that we work with. Dynamo is all about creativity, ideas, and really interesting in this time where we're in lockdown. Somebody who's very, very creative can be busy, 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 coming up with all these ideas, but they may not have their team around them to help them to put those ideas into place so that they can keep coming up with the next shiny idea. What's interesting with you is that you have 44% dynamo, which means you are very creative, but you also have on the opposite end of the talent dynamic square, you've got 28% tempo, which again is above average. And tempo is all about timing and detail and getting everything done. So it's all about fairness, and it's that putting the detail in there to get those ideas done. So you've got the ideas are coming, and then you go, right, now I've got to get them done, and you can do that. So it's a really good, what we call an hourglass profile you have. But then you've also got 16% blaze, which is the people, and you are very split between your introverted and extroverted side quite evenly. So I remember I said to you, do you like to re-energize on your own or with people? And you said, yeah, a bit of both, really. And that's totally depicted by your graph. And then you've got 12% in the steel energy, which is all about systems and processes and, again, getting those things done. And although it may not be your strength and you may not love it because you've only got 12% there, you'd still be able to do it. But if I said to you, would you like to spend all day doing processes and systems and spreadsheets? No. And rather exhausted by the end of that. I did let you into that secret when we had the chat the other day, is that I'm blaze energy, so it's all about people and relationships. But I have 0 in steel, which is, it always makes my team laugh because they don't give that to Julia because she hasn't got any energy in her steel. That doesn't mean I'm stupid. It just means that if I spend all day on this computer, not talking to anybody and doing spreadsheets and numbers, I'll be exhausted. Yeah. But I can spend all day teaching and training and being with people, and I will be totally energized because that's my natural strength.
Yeah.
You said that it's a very simple, that's what I love about it. I've done all of these psychometric tests. This is so simple. And it's about us as human beings, who we inherently are. From the moment probably even from conception, we are inherently energetic beings. So to work with that and the ancient philosophy behind it is, it's a very useful tool.
It definitely is, because, I have to say, like, I was very shocked and taking a look. It was funny because we had never met, and we still haven't met just only via this. We had never really had much of a conversation. And after I took this, and we sat and chatted for about an hour and a half, actually, on that first conversation. And you literally took me through who I was and everything that you said about me. I was like, and even the good stuff and the bad stuff. It was a shock to me that you were able to pinpoint my personality and my strengths and weaknesses so very easily over something so simple. So I can imagine that this tool is fantastic when you're looking to create a good team sort of dynamic, or whether you're looking to create a crew on board, especially considering that a crew on board is stuck together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, sometimes for 6 months at a time. You need to make sure that every single one of those entities mix, well, not like vinegar and water, but mix well.
Yeah, I mean, we use this a lot with recruitment. Funnily enough, it's a very useful recruitment tool, not only for high-profile candidates, but also for. I often get on a three-way call with either a captain or a chief stew and the candidate, so that then I can pull out the questions. Being a coach, I can pull out these questions that the captain or the chief stew or the chief engineer or the chief officer needs to hear, and it gives a different dynamic to just a CV or an interview. So a CV can be embellished, an interview can be acted, whereas this is your inherent core values, strengths, and challenges, and you can't hide those. I once did a debrief. So we offer, once you've taken the test, you can have a debrief for an hour with either myself or my partner, Lynn. And you work through it. And I once did this, and this lady said, "That's not me at all. It's just not me at all. Not at all." And as we got halfway around, half an hour in, she leant forward and she said, "Who are you?" Because you've kind of described my inner thoughts and feelings that I don't normally express to anybody. And her life experience had led her to be out in front, more of a blaze energy person, out in front doing presentations and sales, because that's what her life experience had led to her. But she was actually much more of an introvert. So she was quite tired all the time because she was doing that as her job. And when we got round to talking about the steel energy and more of the tempo and steel, where it's much more about research and working on your own, a little bit shyness in there, and going through processes and systems, she could do that standing on her head, and she could do it all day long and stay energized. So she realized that she loves her job, but she says, when I'm tired and I feel I've had enough, I can forgive myself for feeling those things, because it's not my natural inherent strength.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing awareness tool that helps you understand yourself and others far more effectively. And then you can speak different people's language. You can speak to an introvert in a different way, or speak to an extrovert in a different way. And you get that connection at a far greater level.
Well, I mean, I can also imagine that would work in, say, a mentorship program, and the fact that you're taking, say, an ultra high net worth individual, and they are trying to become better in their business or better in their personal life, and they're looking at the things that they need to work on. So this can actually be used as a tool, not only for understanding others, but for understanding self.
Oh, it's hugely powerful for understanding self, and actually acknowledging it and accepting that actually, you're not that great at that, but you're really good at this. And you can have, some people have a very much of a broader spectrum, so they can be more even in all the energies. And we call that a square profile, not square as in boring, but square as in, and it means that actually they don't really lose energy anywhere. They can do anything. But often these personalities have never really found their niche, because they're okay at everything. And they'll say, I've never really felt that good at anything particular. And so this understanding as well made them feel good about themselves, because I said, well, you're good at everything. And, oh, okay. Yeah, and it give them clarity. So it gives those things that we love as human beings clarity in what we understand about ourselves and about others. And if you can mix that with becoming more emotionally intelligent, so that you can really understand how to talk to people and understand where your emotions come from. Remember how you can press the pause button so you don't react to things. You can wait to respond, so that you understand somebody may speak to you in a certain way. It's not that they're being horrible. It's not that they don't like you. That's the way they speak, because most people speak the way we want to speak. But if you can understand how to communicate and speak someone else's language, it's an incredibly powerful communication tool.
Well, I can guarantee you that, because I've been able to, I have done a couple of interviews with the luxury hospitality team, and it did prove a very valuable tool for me.
Yeah.
And I really was appreciative of it. It's almost as if I wish I could have that for absolutely everybody that I ever talked to on the face of the planet, but I think that would be probably not likely.
We've already said, haven't we, whoever else you interview within luxury hospitality, or anybody that's done this test before, it'd be really useful for you to have their graph so that you can think about the questions that you ask them in a certain way that will pull out more information. And that's how it is so useful, is pulling out more things about someone's personality so you can get that better connection.
So if somebody wants to find out about this test, or they want to access your services, how do they go about that?
So they go on to luxuryhospitalitymanagement.com, mgm.com. We have a separate page there where you can just take the test, and you'll get your report instantly. And then with that, you will get an hour's debrief with either myself or Lynn to go through and show you that pathway of how it can be used to create the best version of yourself, and how you can use that to speak to people in a different way, and how you can use it to raise your professional level to a different height. So it can be used in all sorts of different ways. And then the rest of all our services are on the website too.
Well, what are you guys doing right now? Now, I mean, as I said, just going into the interview, you guys are busier than you've ever been. What is it that you're offering right now for everybody out there in the luxury industry?
Okay, well, we have an Insight online course which starts on the 27th. So we have a 4-week program, 2 hours a week, which goes through talent dynamics, communication, psychological safety, how your brain operates and thinks. So really giving you greater insight into yourself. And we also have a personal leadership program that's out there as well, which is on the website, which is all to do with using the Covey material, Stephen Covey material, which is highly effective in creating personal success.
Well, that's amazing, because right now I think, a lot of people are looking to take that time to just add that one thing to their resume that makes them look just a little bit better than the others, the rest, or even because they are in lockdown somewhere, whether they be locked down on a boat or if they're locked down at home. They're having issues with themselves. We're all facing some sort of psychological issues. So to have, something to focus on and some tools to cope, I think is absolutely brilliant. And I think luxury hospitality is offering that.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to think that this is we've never been here before. And there is a form of a collective grief going on worldwide. We have a loss of freedom, we have a loss of income, we have a loss of seeing our families. There's a lot going on. And if you think about that all over the world, how that's energetically affecting us all. And we're all dealing with it in different ways. A dynamo person will deal with it in one way, a blaze, they'll be really freaked out about it because they're on their own. A steel person, much more introverted, won't mind it quite so much. And the tempos will be getting the house spotless and getting everything done, but they'll be really worried about, how everyone's going to deal with this and how the world is going to cope with it.
I'm almost sick to death of those tempos, I tell you right now. I am just, these Pinterest moms and these people that are baking everything under the sun every single day, and they're talking about planting this garden that could feed 1 million people, and on and on and on. And I am lucky to wake up in the morning at 7 a.m. and go to bed at like 2. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, stop, homeschooling and working, and I'm like, no. But
you have to be kind to yourself, Ray. You have to. It's really, really important at the moment, particularly. We should always be kind to ourselves, but it's incredibly important now for our mental health to be kind to ourselves and make sure we have that balance of thought. So it's okay if you feel shitty one day. That's okay, but know that you can turn it around another day. So it's going to go like this. One week will be okay, we're accepting we're on our own. The next week we'll be going, oh no, when? It's this uncertainty. When is it going to end? We don't like uncertainty. We like certainty. And we haven't got that at the moment. So it's really important that we stay vulnerable and stay connected and stay communicating, because let people know emotionally you're not feeling great, then you'll get help. Don't sit there and hide it under the carpet and pretend that everything's great. There's always something that can be done to make yourself feel better. But if you need help, reach out and get it.
Well, Julia, thank you so much. That is the most amazing advice. And I would recommend anybody out there to contact Luxury Hospitality Management and use their services if you are indeed an entrepreneur, an ultra high net worth individual looking to further yourself professionally, or even if you're looking for a crew, or even if you just want to find out about yourself, during this time. I would really encourage it, because the insight that it gave me about myself, and the acceptance too, because it explained a lot of things that I was not sure of. And it also showed me that it was okay to be that person.
Good. I love
So
that.
thank you for that. Yeah, it was wonderful. So I would encourage everybody to do that. Thank you again, Julia, for your time. It was really appreciated.
Oh, thank you so much. I've loved it. I've loved all my conversations with you, Rhea. It's been really good. But just everyone out there, take care of themselves and take care of each other, because this is a time that we've never had before. And I think this is around for a while. So we've got to look after each other and make sure we all stay on the right track.
Exactly, exactly. Once again, Julia Rogers from Luxury Hospitality Management, Head of Insights. You have been watching another edition of Coffee and Conversation right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Rhea Rao. I am your host. We'll see you next time.